live with Love at 11:11 Pacific time. I am Love. It is a pleasure to meet all of you. I'm trying to figure out where to look because I don't usually stream horizontally. I'll try and remember that you guys are over here. Hello. So, how are you guys doing today? We're just going to kind of wait for the chatters to kind of come on today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's been going on with me. I'm in a different part of Sedona right now, and I went for a beautiful walk this morning, right where Bell Rock and Courthouse Rock are. And I just ended up sitting on a part of the trail. It was great because there was nobody around. Hey, peace and joy. How you doing? And in that walk, I was feeling so much love, so much being a part of the all. And I thought, how different I'm feeling right now than I was when I arrived. When everything seemed very uncertain from the get-go. Like when I was traveling from Colorado, I didn't know how I was going to get to the airport. I wasn't sure where I was staying before I was leaving to come to Arizona. There were some uncertainties happening, and there were even financial uncertainties happening at the very same time that the average person would probably say, no, I can't do that right now, or no, I have to wait. I am not your average person. I'm not your average human, I should say. So I've been learning to listen to my senses the last couple years to go where the inkling is to go and where I'm drawn to. And this was no exception. It was a very much, can I do this? Will this all work out? And I went about the way in which I do that. Some of that was asking a few people for some assistance to be able to be where I am now. And it's not easy, right, to ask people for help. So, not that I'm against it, but I'm always been like pretty self-reliant, right? I prided myself on being very self-reliant. That's that masculine part of me, right? And the feminine part of me came in and was like, no, you can ask for help as well. So I listened, and here I am in Sedona. Here you are with me in Sedona. You're receiving all the energies, all the resonances that are here with me as well as you show up here with me live. So thank you for being here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to read all the comments. Let me see if I can do this. It looks a little weird when it's horizontal. So I'll try and answer any questions that come up. Please try and keep the questions or the topics to that which is energetic, that which has to do with like kind of moving along your path, and kind of the things you have to navigate. You know, even if it's a hard thing that you're navigating, feel free to put it in the chat because other people that show up may be able to help you with some of that as well. So, and no question is a dumb question, because the question that comes to me to answer that I actually see is the one that is supposed to be heard at that time and will be heard by many. So yeah, feel free to put things in the chat. Do you recommend the place that you went in Sedona to visit? Yes. Sedona is not a very big place. So there are places on, they have different names for it. I think they call it West Sedona side, and then they call it the VOC, Village of Oak Creek side. Very different energies. You have Bell Rock and you have Courthouse, which is actually in front of me right now through this window. And this is some vortex areas. And then through the middle of town, you have like Airport Road, which is a vortex. There are many different areas considered vortex areas, but the biggest point is the whole town of Sedona, like the bedrock beneath the earth, is that of quartz crystal. Like you're literally in a crystal city of light when you're in this area. Now that doesn't mean that it's all like roses here, right? Like there are energies that exist here also that are not exactly balanced, just like in other locations. Sometimes you can find, I will say there's different variations of spirituality and energy that I've got to see from different people while I've been here. So I tend to draw more of the ones that are more in balance, heart-centered, those ones who are heart-centered. But I'm also realizing in this journey that even those people you come across that you're just kind of like, whoa, that's like, there's something going on there. I don't know what that is. A lot of people use the word interesting because then it's a way of not like putting in judgment. Let's see. Interesting when you go to places and meet the different vibes, the different kind of people, if you're paying attention to check engine light or red flag radar. I like that. The check engine light's coming on. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. The chats are showing up in a different way. Sorry, I'm grabbing my screen. Than like off to the side. They're happening kind of in the middle. Yeah, definitely been having some adventures. Been kind of working through the uncertainty that I talked about when I first came here, and it's been kind of a lesson in trusting too. I'm always telling people as I travel that I'm provided, protected, and loved wherever I go. I hold that true. That's in my heart. And even when things go a little bit like wonky, right? There's that trust of, all right, this is happening this way, and how can I flow through it, right? As opposed to getting irritated, letting fear come in, all of those kinds of things. Hey, Pac-Man, how you doing? So glad to have you here. So as I was taking a walk this morning through this beautiful area I get to stay in, and I will tell you this is kind of what's occurred, and what is continuing to occur. There was the uncertainty of where am I going to stay when I'm here, right? I explained how there were different financial things that happened prior to my travel, and I don't have my vehicle, I'm not traveling with my studio, everything is different. And from where I started off, staying with that particular house and then staying with a following house, I was there for a week, and now I'm at this house for about that time frame. It's like I'm getting an upgrade each time. It's almost like going to a hotel and they're like, we've decided to upgrade you. Congratulations. No, you don't have to pay extra. This is all as our customer service to you. And that is like what I've been receiving since I decided to not allow fear to keep me from traveling and ask for help and come here. And it's been working out. The uncertainty has been transforming and alchemizing, you can use that word, into this feeling of wholeness and love and freedom as I'm walking this trail in the morning, as I'm walking this beautiful trail, like out here at Courthouse is where I'm at, like I'm closest to. Never been on this side before. It's kind of neat. As I'm walking, I'm like, wow, how I feel now versus how I felt a week ago is a completely different vibration. Yeah, upgrades. So I'm just kind of going over the comments, those of you who are going to see this video on the replay. I answer questions that people might have occasionally, and yeah, we just kind of get in touch with our hearts. We breathe together and we kind of talk about what topics are coming up. Usually I'm talking about what topic is coming up for me, but if you guys also have topics that are coming up for you that are challenging to navigate, then feel free to put those in the comments as well. So happy to have you here. Hey, incredible, unbelievable. I am doing great. Yeah, we are all going through a life upgrade the whole new year. Correct. Yeah, Pac-Man. I couldn't have said it better. Like, we're constantly, and we're going to be going through ups and downs. just like I'm telling you, but there's an importance in holding on to those higher vibrations. I know people have this thing of this whole high vibe thing. Everyone has different thoughts about whether to stay high vibe, is it bypassing, all those things. I think I would mostly describe it as listening to the heart. Like being able to have those moments of, even though you might have a nervous system that's a little bit elevated, it's like you can still operate even when the nervous system is a little bit elevated. We do things to, breathe into the moment, to get back centered, to like pop us back into our bodies, because it's all about embodiment right now with the evolution and consciousness. Okay, I'm just going to read this comment. Upgrading every day, being better yesterday, mindful. Oh, it like disappeared. Oh, there you are. Spiritually, physically evolving into a better version of us. Yes, that's why I use the term I am, we are one. Because the more, and that's kind of the meaning of life to the other person who asked, what is the meaning of life? The meaning is to follow your joy, is to follow your heart, and to do that in a way that expands your experience, your reality. When we go into nature, we get in those places sometimes where we are able to view expansion in form through nature, through the mountains, through the ocean we look over, through rivers, through these calm spaces. And that is part of it, the expansion and the ability to move through the different wounds that happen in this life as well. That came up this morning. I was listening to a live from Pamela Arland. She's like a medium, psychic. She's all sorts of things. She's been attuning her gifts, we'll say, since she was younger. She had a guide that came in for her. I don't remember which guide right now, but there were guides that came in with her when she was little and came and would kind of take her through a schooling. So she's a no-nonsense kind of gal, so FYI. She doesn't sugarcoat anything if you end up looking her up. But she had a wonderful live this morning. And it's interesting, since I've been here, there's been a couple of things popping up. Monty Python means it's a great one. Meaning of life. Have you ever seen the movie Monty Python? I've seen one of them. Meaning of life is a great one. Yeah, meaning of life. Is that the one where they fight the bunny? That's a fire-breathing bunny. I'm not dead yet. I love that. I actually play that with different kids in my family. We play with swords, and we do that. We do this, and then we're only using this hand to sword fight, and then we do the leg, and then we're hopping on one foot. I'm not dead yet. You have no arms, you have no legs. I'm not dead yet. Come over here. It's a great movie. I don't know if I like all of them. I have a hard time with dry humor sometimes, guys. I had a father that had dry humor, and I would just look at him like, are you being serious? Because I really can't tell right now. And if you're being serious, it's a little scary. Yeah, so slight off note for that. Great movie. And so as I was walking along, you guys, I was noticing how I feel now. It's different. I was like, wow, I have so much heartfelt love, which I always do, but the uncertainty has moved through me, through and out. As I worked with it, as I navigated, what are my options? What are my choices? Because everything is a choice. Even if you don't want to do it, it's a choice. We might feel like we have to sometimes, but we don't really have to. Like, it's a choice. Not the one where they're fighting the bunny. Okay, I'll have to check out that other one. that other movie. So the uncertainty has come through, in through my body, out, and been kind of transformed and alchemized through this trip. So what Pamela Arland was speaking of, and I won't say like her, she was actually channeling, she channels this council, and there was a being coming in, and they were talking about a difference in terminology again. I talked about this a little bit that other live I was on recently, which will be available soon, guys. When I get off here, I will get the description in so that you guys can watch it if you need to like review it at all. Do I say anything important enough to review? Who knows? It might be. So far that I've been here, there have been like a redefinition of the meaning of certain words. One of the words was frequency. The fact that someone brought up recently in the, let me think what it is. Frequency is not how we speak of it in the spiritual community. And I switched between terminology of spiritual community, energetic community. Today another term came up, metaphysical community, which metaphysical is kind of like an older term for me, like new age. I tend not to use new age that much because it's an older term. That was kind of like, who are these new age people, all these spoofy new age people? All those practical books about how to live life in a happy way are all in this new age section at the bookstore. I don't know if they've changed that section or not, but new terminology has come in, even for the spiritual community, terms that they are not using correctly, that I was not using correctly. Just because we hear this material over and over and over again, you know, these different people that we see on YouTube, like me, right? And always, always, whatever I say, do your own research, do your own deep dive into subjects I bring up, because I, by far, am not an expert, and I do not know everything in this way. I'm gonna look at the comments real quick. Who is the creator of the thoughts? Where they come from? You are. Let me see, how would I answer that? Do I answer that, or do I have thoughts? Okay, that's a little bit of what came in this morning as I'm speaking to you guys about uncertainty and how that transformed. Okay, and now I kind of remember a little bit. Thank you. So earlier, I'm going to keep my eyes closed just so I can stay focused. Earlier, during that YouTube, there was a discussion about a term used, and that had to do with contracts, spiritual contracts, soul contracts. And so the idea of uncertainty coming through, and people asking, you know, are contracts needed, or can you hold more for the earth, like for an experience, than what you're given? And you're totally a creator and you can do this. But they were saying that through uncertainty comes trust. And that is exactly what has happened on this trip. Through the uncertainty came I want to say that, but that's like the human part of me. Through uncertainty came trust. Through what I was moving through, as I moved it through in a non-survival way, like the ocean thing, yeah, I just saw that. As I moved through my experience, I was able to keep myself at a calm resonance. as I was moving through. There were uncertain things happening, but I was kind of going with the flow. That's where that phrase comes from, go with the flow. Some people say flow with the go, because there's so much going and so much doing these days that are human things we take care of, and flow with the go that occurs, right? A Romanian friend told me that once. And so that's what kind of came through this morning as I was taking a walk, as I was connecting with the land. I was feeling a part of the all. I was feeling the love, and I was feeling how that connection within my body was totally radiating throughout my barefoot feet on the land as I walked along the path, and into the trees, into the rocks. The rocks especially I was noticing, because I was connecting with water the other day. And then I connected with a podcast that had to do with water. Hey, thank you so much for the compliment. Appreciate it. Synord, thank you. And as I was connecting to those things, so there are certain rocks that contain water. There are cavities within certain rocks or crystals that will harness water in them. So even when you're out in the desert here, I was out in the desert and I was noticing the bloomage. I thought I would be missing, because in my mind I was like, oh, the desert flowers in April. And I'm not here in April right now, right? So I'm here in like February and March. So as I was doing this, sorry, I got a delayer, guys. I'm a little warm. I think the energy that comes in when I'm on these lives, I think it like heats me up. So, excuse me. And, whew, yes, I've always been a warm person, actually. So, what was I saying? I was connecting with the land. I was connecting with the rocks, and I was feeling into the water of the air. I was feeling into the water of the ground as I knelt down to connect with some of the stones, because I had this feeling of like I'm freaking walking down a crystal pathway. That's how it felt. And a lot of the time I use these opportunities, these trips, to collect stones and then do like a hammered copper technique where I wrap them, and I have them as pendants, right? I wanted to have pendants available from different parts of the world. When people aren't able to travel to Sedona, they'll be able to have a piece of the Sedona resonance with them. So as I was being drawn to certain ones, which is not going to be a lot on this trip because I still get to fly back. I could feel the land. I could feel the water in the land, in the rocks, in the trees. I could feel like maybe it was the crystalline grid system. I'm saying that now and it sounds true. I often connect to the crystalline grid system, but it's usually me doing that through the mind. So this is interesting. Okay, that's what's coming in, that I was actually connecting with the crystalline grid system. That's true. If you're new here, this is something that I do occasionally when I'm speaking. If I have a curiosity about something, I will actually ask myself, is that true? And when I'm asking myself, I'm talking to that highest aspect of myself to confirm for me that it's a true statement. Through the feeling in my heart. So I can feel that in my heart. We work with our clear senses here too. I can feel in my heart that that's true. So I was actually connecting to the grid system. And as I was connecting in that way, not through meditation, but for just being in the environment, I was able to feel all of it. Like I was able to feel a part of all of it. No separation existing at all, but like feeling a part of at least all of the land. I didn't get a sense of like necessarily connecting with people, but I was feeling the land. I was feeling the water. I was looking at all the dryness and the rocks. And then I remembered what I had heard in that podcast, the awareness that was being brought forth of the consciousness in water, in the consciousness in everything, because we're water, right? So I was feeling the ground and I saw this like little moss, and I looked closer and it was little stars making this form of moss that I've seen in other places. Like I've seen it growing rampantly in Mount Shasta areas, and I've seen it, I think, in Tennessee as well. Same type of plant, but different. You know, here it's like smaller because there's less moisture around, or it appears that there's less moisture around, but I think it's just in different forms here, guys. Just like you're able to receive water from a cactus, right? People have done that when they've been out in the desert and that's all that they have for water. There's been ways to extract water from cactus. So I think how we see the world, how we've been told or taught through school to see the world, is more and more for me like not everything is as it seems, right? Not everything is as it seems. There's more here than meets the eye. We were talking about movies, right? More here than meets the eye. And yeah, I'm just playing with some cards. So pay attention as you're out in your day today. What do you look at that you take for granted? That's coming up too. There's a lot of things in nature that we take for granted. The receiving of water, right? In different ways that we receive that water. And if we can see water as, like, say we're just picking one of the elements. For me right now, it seems to be water. If we're picking water, because water is something that we experience on a day-to-day basis. We are washing our hands, we are showering, we are drinking water, right? So that's one that we can kind of work with on our clair senses. What if we didn't see water as just this wet liquid, right? I talked about appreciation. A great way to connect with a consciousness is to feel appreciation for that consciousness. This can be a human being. This can be within nature. This can be those fantastical beings that we're often told are not real, and we connect in that way. There are so many ways to connect with consciousness. But what I will say is water. What if you were to look at water in a completely different way? Like say this whole week. I'm going to give you guys a little homework. What if you decided to interact with water in different ways than you usually interact with water? What would that look like? Let me see. If where you are on the earth plane, there are puddles on the ground that you normally would just walk on by or try to avoid, maybe take a pause before the puddle, look at the puddle, and you don't have to speak out loud. You don't have to feel like you're a crazy person amongst other people, although if you want to, feel free to talk to water. But kind of get in that place where you're connecting with the water. Maybe you notice the stillness of the puddle. Maybe there's no raindrops falling. Maybe there's raindrops falling and you notice the kerplunk that happens, right? In there. And you notice the ripple effect. And you just take a breath and you connect with water. If you have any curiosities about the consciousness of water. And when I say the consciousness of water, I will say the consciousness of that particular puddle of water. Because we have a habit of just putting water all into one bucket, so to speak, and like it's all the same. Like water's water. We also know that there are sacred waters around the planet. There are actual like healing sacred waters that people will pilgrimage to and drink that water and receive miraculous type healings, but it's not the water that is necessarily creating the miraculous healing. It's the it's a little different. It's the water within you. You are the one. You are the conduit. You are the one harnessing the source energy. The water within you collaborates with the water, say, in the puddle. Or if it's a thing where someone's pilgrimaging, let me just like go back to that. The pilgrimage to the sacred waters. First, there's someone asked about the thoughts. Do we create the thoughts? Yes, it is our mind creating the thoughts while we're here in this human experience. So, and a lot of the thoughts will affect the resonance of that which surrounds us as well. So staying on topic, as you say, go to a healing water sacred place. You know, I went to, closing my eyes just to help me, guys. I went to Glastonbury in England, and there are sacred waters there of the feminine and the masculine. Running in town, there's a certain well, a sacred well, and people walk through that well. They drink the water that comes straight out of the mountain there. And it is that water in collaboration with the water that is within you that is creating that chance for there to be a cellular alchemization. Why? Well, when I was having the opportunity with this kind of podcast, and I will post it down below so you guys can fully hear it, because this is some of the subject matter I want to bring to you guys when I have my community on the website. I have certain things like this come to me, and then I want to share them. I want to show the practicality in it for your human life, and then how you can be pulled out of these lower areas and like pull yourself up into these higher states, but still being very grounded in those higher states and practical, because we're in this evolution of human experience. So how that happens, as she was talking about, I'm trying to remember, Veda Austin? Yeah, is that true? Austin, Veda Austin. Continued Dr. Emoto's work, and she was talking about the relationship of water to water, and how water, just by its composition and its consciousness, seeks to, I don't know if I want to use the word heal, seeks to make that which it is in contact with better. Would that be a word to use? Let me feel. Be able to assist in optimizing that particular substance. Is that the right word? Gosh, I'm on words today. That which it comes in contact with. We won't get hung up on the word. That which the water comes in contact with. It's not just water, guys. It's a relationship. We're just speaking about water right now. We're picking that element, that elemental. There's a relationship that is constantly happening with all of us and water on a regular basis. Yes. So water, when you take a shower, is able to collaborate with you. You're able to create, consciously create with the water that you interact with. And the way she explained this was, there was a scientist that has unfortunately passed, but I'm going to look up his work because I'm interested in that kind of thing. And there was a series of experiments, and then she, is the word qualified? these experiments, she did these experiments for herself. She freezes water to a certain degree, and then those crystals that are left tell a story and even have codes within them. So she tried this. She took 2 eggs, and she took 1 egg that was an organic egg, and then she took another egg that was not organic. And she put, how you do for, the Japanese man. So that was Dr. Emoto. She has continued his work. I'm sure there's other people that have continued his work, but this is the one that's kind of coming into my field and has been in the last couple years, because I do work with the land and the waters. Some sort of grid thing I'm doing. I don't know what it is yet, guys, but there's definitely a connection. And I've had other people confirm it for me since I've been here, actually. Just being able to feel that I'm I guess the term is grid walker, earth walker. So what she did was she took the egg, and like you do for like Easter, right, where you like try and empty the egg of its contents with a small pinhole of some sort. She emptied the white part, not the yellow part, but the white part into a petri dish, I think she uses, and then the white part of the non-organic egg into a petri dish. And she could notice, okay, when it froze, this is what was in here. And she's done this enough times that there are recognizable patterns, crystal patterns, that show what this particular type of food would be in a healthy state. And it's like, I don't know if it's prime healthy state, because who knows, is there something healthier beyond like the organic, right? But what it shows is like, what is the chicken receiving enough of? And does it have those patterns, those crystal patterns that she is used to seeing? So she's been working with this for a long time, and she knows and can see scientifically even that this is what is in a healthy egg. She also did the same with the egg that was, I think it was not organic, but free range versus non-free range. Okay, so you have one aspect where the chicken's all free and running about and loving life, and then you have another one that's maybe in a cage or a coop, like really close, quarters possibly. So she did this experiment, and she saw that there were patterns missing from the egg that was not free range. There were specific pattern codes not there. So what she did then, by this other scientist's explanation, she then took both eggs, took the one that was free range, right? Had the freedom, had all that stuff, right? I think both of these no hormones or anything, but one was free, one was not. And there was an experiment where you could put water next to each other, water that was from a very sacred place or very pure, and then water that was not. And overnight, upon freezing both samples again, would show that the water that was not, or the egg that was not quite coming up with all the crystalline codes, would then be showing more of the codes, would be showing the codes, the patterns, I will say the patterns of a crystalline nature while freezing the white part of the yolk. This egg started to improve. And I remember this coming up before when I was in Mount Shasta. I told someone when I was taking care of their animal, I asked if they give them Shasta water. And they said, no, I just do the water from the faucet. And I said, well, you told me there was a lot of iron buildup because it's an old house. So I was like, really, this dog really could be given Shasta water, which would be healthier for her, and especially since she's going through some different health things. I'm starting to work with animals too, guys, in a different way. It's been coming up the last year or so. When they have different things coming on, like intuitive, being able to receive the information through like others and through myself. So, but I also told them, I was like, but what you can also do is take this bowl of water that she would normally drink, like put a glass of it from the faucet, possibly next to the Shasta water, and then the Shasta water would affect or change the composition of the tap water. Now, I don't know what that would do for the extra iron in it. I'm not sure. I didn't try and freeze anything or try and perform any experiment. I was going fully off information I had received before, and I felt it to be true. So I was saying, this is what you can do for your animal. You can put this water next to this water. I don't know for how long, the longer it sits next to it, the one that has all the patterns, all the healthy pattern codes, crystalline codes, when it's frozen that you can see in like snowflake action. That's what Dr. Emoto started out with. The more the other one changes. And it was great, guys, because they were talking about, this is very true. Someone, commented and was all pessimistic and was like, all right, yeah, I have a book from those days too. Someone gave it to me and I'm like, oh, cool. And then I like set it aside. There's this thing, someone made this smart aleck comment on like one of her lives and like, well, I bet you if you like put a whole bunch of unhealthy eggs, then like everything would get unhealthy. And so she decided to, all right, let's try that experiment. And what happened was not what the commenter thought would happen. What happened was that one egg that had all the patterns that she was used to seeing that had to do with healthiness, that one egg that has those amazing crystals like you're talking about, peace and joy, I think that was you, was able to transform the next round of eggs and then the next round of eggs. Like these were a lot less, but the longer the eggs on the outside were to be in proximity to the one egg in the middle, the more they were shifting and changing, and she was proving it through these frozen experiments. So, wow. Right? Wow. Let me just see if I can, I can see some comments now. This is good. Excuse my fingers here. Yes, drinking. So when you interact with your water before you drink it, you can write things on the glass of your water. This will change the structure of the water itself. Another thing she talked about, yes, that Japanese book, that's the one. My father gave me that book, and part of it was because my dad gave it to me, right? But I had not learned about energy yet. It was also when he was like, come on, let's yoga together. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. That was the old me. Yeah. Okay, so just checking out for any questions. Yeah, he would freeze and he would play music as well. Yeah, so there's a whole wonderful book out there, guys, that it's in Japanese, I believe, too. They might have done a different, or a combo, English and Japanese. But you look at the pictures, even if you can't read Japanese, you simply look at these crystal patterns, and he shows how words affect all of us. How water that, and so I don't know if it's the word, honestly. I don't know if it's the physical word or if it's the energy behind the word. I'm still kind of, I would love to ask her these questions. I was thinking the podcast I'm on recently here in Sedona, I was going to talk to Humankind, John, the guy who runs Humankind and who's bringing in that beautiful space for others like me to be able to share this kind of thing and feel comfortable sharing this kind of thing without judgment. That ask if he's ever had like her as a person being interviewed, because that would be amazing to have her on that podcast to be able to explain further some of what I'm just giving you, like a taste, little tidbit of this kind of information that's out there. And I'm bringing this information to you because that seems to be what's coming up is the water and how to see it differently. It's important right now to start coming out of the box of how we've been told to look at different things that we have in our lives or that provide for us, because water is something that provides for us, you know, that keeps everything alive on this planet, that keeps us alive on this planet in conjunction with other elements. But can you see, she said, can people start seeing water as a relative instead of, what did she call it? There were two R's. I don't know what it is, but I will post that video down below so that in the description on the recording, so you guys can check out that interview. I think it was from a year ago. And there's a little channeling in the beginning, just so you know, if some of you are not used to channelers, some of them speak in a different voice. Sometimes there's toning that happens beforehand. Sometimes there's waving of the hands. It's all normal. It's all part of how that person channels. How I tend to have information come through me is through breath currently, like focus and breath and like tuning into the heart. So her name, I've mentioned her before, Kelly Kolodny. It was her actual YouTube channel. And she was interviewing of Veda, Veda Austin. You've got the angel lady, angel Raphael lady interviewing the water lady, basically, the water crystal lady. So if that resonates, check that out. I'm just gonna look in the comments here, see how you guys are doing. What are you guys feeling like you would like to, would you like to breathe with me? Would you like me to pick a card? A collective card to see what is coming through for all of you that are here with me now, and will also apply to anyone here on the replay. What would you guys enjoy right now? I'll just give you a moment. If I don't hear anything, I'll just kind of pick one. Okay. Looks like I'm going to start picking one. Hey, Lynn, Bale, 7, Brianna. Oh, that's from Instagram. It's not on YouTube. It's not you guys. Someone on Insta just decided to follow me. Cards are good. Pac-Man. Okay. We're still going to take a deep breath. So if you will, if you're in a place to close your eyes and take a deep breath, please do so. You can put your hand on your heart. You can put a hand on the belly, just below the navel. This helps give the mind a knowing that you are doing something new now. You are no longer just listening to information and processing it with the mind. You are now moving into the heart. Breathe in and hold and release. Release all the air out of that belly, completely deflating the beautiful balloon. Hold. And breathe in. Hold. Release. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Hold a little longer. And release. Completely letting all the air out, resetting the nervous system. Breathing in naturally now. And let out an audible ah. It could be a small sigh. Let's do two more, and allow the sigh that comes out to come out. If it ends up being minute and small, let it be. If it ends up being a little bit more vocal, let it be. If you feel like you just have something energetically to release right now, let it just like really, I'll give you some examples. Ready? Breathe in. Ah. Could just be like one of those ah. Could also be like this. Ah. You can feel it's a little more controlled when I do something like that, right? It can just be a, now we're going to get a little louder. So if you guys have earbuds, be aware. Breathe in. See, did you see that? Did you feel that? I had a fluctuation, right? There was something that wanted to release. I don't know what it is. I don't have to know what it is. Breathe in. This is just a very simple breath, right? How often do we just let a sigh out, right? Sometimes it's only like after we've been with someone intimately. Sometimes it's only after like a really good meal. Yeah, we're being asked to be more audible with what we release. More audible, using our tones, our voice more, opening the throat, opening the heart, in a healthy way, right? Because there are unhealthy ways to do this exact same thing, guys, right? Where we're projecting on others in lower polarities, not necessarily a polarity of neutrality, right? So you know which one is going to benefit you and is going to benefit others and benefit as a whole. So, calling in, as always, those of the highest light, the ascended angels, ascended masters, ascended star families, connection with Gaia, elementals, energies of the four directions, Mother of Creation, the all that there is, source energy, coming in through and around. What is the message for the collective, for this interaction that we are having now, that they can take with them at this time? Okay. Ooh, right away one pops out. Look, it's got a little bite taken out of it. Healing the mother line. Healing ancestral work, mother line, and growing up. So we've got, this is the Rose deck by, I'm not sure, I don't have that part of the box. Alana someone, I think. And it looks like this, if you're interested in it, the Rose Oracle. Some of you might know, if you can put in the comments, who is the creator of this deck. For everybody else, that would be great. Healing the mother line. So again, I get like sacred womb. So there may be some of you that have a wound in the mother line that is ready to surface and receive a balance brought to that mother line. So you can kind of feel into that. Here's the card. Let's see, put it on this side. This is the side where the camera is. Feel into the energy of the card. This is an honoring of the sacred feminine within you, but also through your lineage. So for, both guys and gals who are out there, all of us have been through many different experiences with the family that was, quote, our family that we chose coming in here. A family we chose to be a part of our lives or to not be a part of our lives. There is a lesson there. And that's part of what came up this morning through the Pamela Arland live that she was there for all of us, is that idea of the contracts being real, but that the contracts are not just contracts to be accepted. I want to clear this up for people in the energetic community, because I didn't realize that people were viewing contracts in this way. And you might be one of them. So I will put this out there, whether you are or not. If you've been viewing soul contracts as there's nothing you can do about it, some of you might be staying in a soul contract relationship because you feel like you got to learn from it. Like this is happening. It might be something really out of balance and it's not a good relationship, and you stay in it because you're like, this is what I dealt. This is what I chose. This is a dissonant way of looking at soul contracts. You are not meant to stay in something and suffer in that experience. What brought up today was the contracts are patterns, and they are patterns that can happen over and over again. So one could see them as a pattern instead of just an experience, and that she was giving the example of like people that use their words too to say that they always attract that horrible kind of relationship, and that like they don't know why it happens over and over again. And the way to know this, and I'll briefly take you through it because she can do it in a more full way through the YouTube she did provide for us, or I would say the being that came through her provided for us. One way to do that is to think back to a time. So we'll do this with the mother wound. Try this. Let me see this, if there's a question here. We tell ourselves always attract. Oh yeah, always putting out the words of saying this always happens connects your mind and the ether in a way that you won't necessarily enjoy because you will still continue to have that show up for you. The more, if you're not aware of our words, and it's really important right now, guys, the energies are that which in the past, we were not the word manifesting. I like the word creating more because manifesting means something different in the root form of it. Don't remember what that is, but not important right now. Creating, what we're creating, we are creating with our words, with our thoughts. These are all resonance. And when we say this always happens, or one I used to say was, I keep forgetting. Oh, I forgot that. I keep forgetting. Now, instead of saying words like that, I change up the wording. And when that pops in my mind, instead of saying that, I say, you just reminded me. Oh, I just remembered. I didn't remember then, but I remember now. It always comes back to me, is what I say when I'm trying to remember something. And I'm kind of, this is how you kind of move, you start to change the resonance of your life. It seems like a simple technique, but it works very well to be able to rewire the mind and the thoughts that come into the mind. The egoic self that is part of the mind form doesn't know what to do with it. So when you start to rewire like that, you're tapping in the heart. You're like, it's those electrodes that are connecting from the mind to the heart. And you start to kind of live life differently. So I got a little off topic possibly. Oh yes, I'm going to take you guys through the mother line. So some of you here have a wounded mother line, where you felt like something wasn't given enough. Possibly you were hurt. Possibly the mother line didn't protect you, or didn't know how to protect you, or was too involved with trying to survive themselves that they couldn't be available for you or siblings at the time in the way that you would want them to have been available for you, in the way that you've seen as possible for that nurturing to come to you. And therefore you possibly felt abandoned or unworthy as you went through your life. This could have been a small part of your life. This could have been like a real expansive time in your life that this occurred. So what you can do, what she was kind of bringing us through, so this mother line that's coming through, take a deep breath in and release. Just get a little centered here. Feel into the heart. Feel into the rise and fall of your breath. And just pick one pattern. One, not 10, just one. One pattern, as Pamela Arland put it, or that which came through her. Just one for now that you've been repeating in your life. And now I want you to go back to the first time you remember that pattern coming up. It could have been when you were really young. It could have been through these different adolescence. It could have been much later in your life. What is that for you? Just take a moment and breathe into it. See if you can energetically pinpoint, and just trust whatever surfaces. Don't judge the experience. By doing this, you're going to a core, the core of it, and where possibly a pattern or a belief in your persona, in the personality, developed as a coping mechanism in order for you to feel safe. As you are able to do this, or maybe you will, watch this again, maybe you'll watch it on her video and pause the video. You can go through this again and pause the video, because I myself, I needed to rewind and pause and really feel into a pattern. And then I went back and I tried a different pattern to see where its origin was. When you kind of make that connection, you are able to then choose, as the observer of that connection, that you no longer have to continue that pattern. Not that you ever had to continue that pattern or start that pattern, but it was something developed then to keep you safe. So you have the ability now that you know, oh, that's when that happened. And ask yourself, is that really true? There might have been a time that you developed a protective pattern to be safe at that time because of that particular thing. Is that true now? Is that pattern still helpful now? Do you find yourself expansive when you continue that pattern? Or do you feel like it shrinks you? Do you feel like it stalls you? Do you feel like those are great examples just right there. So those 2 videos I will post in this description. It'll be available tomorrow. One thing I will say that just came into my awareness about this, healing the mother line, if you want to go deeper with that, healing the feminine, there's 2 people that come into mind. So first off, Pamela Arland, I'm going to be joining it as just part of the people out there. I will be joining, she's doing a 9 o'clock. She has a free community and then she has different pay options. So I will be joining, I don't know if I'm joining as a free person or what, but there's an opportunity that she's going to go deeper into the soul contract and deeper into other areas that you might want to be a part of. She's doing it 9 o'clock, offering it 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Could be just an hour. You guys might enjoy it. I'm going to sign up for it so I can be a part of it. And there may be something there for you. I don't know if she's doing classes or what this is. I've been a part of her community for a long time, and I've done this many times where I've joined other communities. I have at least, at one time I had 5 that I joined, but I really didn't participate. I hear it's helpful to participate. And as there will be at least one that I've been participating in recently, the Archangel Raphael one, that I will start participating in one. I will just make that an intention. There will be one that I start participating more in. There's also a Luna Noel that comes into mind. Luna Noel. So different people, all different personalities, and they all bring so many different things to the table, but there's a connection there in all the modalities. It's all one, guys. Just like I always say, it's all one. We are, you are, we are one. So I'm just going to check out the comments real quick. You're welcome for the reminders. Okay. Maybe helping the mother line is you simply calling up your mom. I had a reminder to call my mom the other day, so I'll put that out there. Maybe you call up your mom and you say, hello, how are you doing? Maybe that's not a comfortable experience for you. There are different ways that you can work with a wounded mother line. So you can also kind of search that in YouTube as well. There might be a person, Jody Teresa. She works with quantum healing, and she's doing more group type things now, but she is also possibly taking on like one-on-ones. So if you look in her library, there might be a quantum healing for the divine feminine within you, which would be great. That would connect with the mother line. And there might also be a mother line kind of thing. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it for a while. So jodyteresa.com, I think is her thing. And I want to thank you guys for being here with me today. We will be live again tomorrow. I do have an Instagram. If you check out any of the recent videos, there are links down below. For all those that are new here, there are links that I put down below. Sometimes it's a fun song that has come in that day. There's usually a link to a frequency that I play in the background. We didn't do it today, but we've got all the frequencies of Sedona here with us at this time. I'll say resonances, not frequency. There's a whole thing behind frequency too. So the resonance that we feel in our body and we feel that we attune to, links of things I talk to as much as I can. It's kind of difficult to put in all the links of what I speak of, but we use copyrighted material on this channel, so I try and put in all the links below that are necessary. So the Insta is there. It's more of a journey into like the places I've gone. I'll take video of like this place and I'll add music, and it's a way for you guys to connect with the land and the water and the places I go. There's also a way to donate to me there if you feel like you want to. If this is valuable to you and you're enjoying it, you can actually donate on Venmo. You can also support me by just being a subscriber. Send me flowers in the comments, hearts. I love that. Yes, thank you. Thank you for all of you, and all of you for being here, showing up for me, showing up for you, showing up for the collective, and what you want to bring change in your own life in order to also assist in shifting the collective as a whole. You're really only working with you here, and as you work with you, you create a ripple effect to all that is around you. So thank you for all that you do for you in the ability to help all of us in this evolution and consciousness and human form that we are now going through. So thank you. Really, thank you. I love you. And I love that you're here and you're looking for ways to bring more light in your light. Bring more light in your light. Yeah, bring more light into your light, because you're always lighting up, but you have the ability to be so bright, guys. So bright, shining stars you are. So I love you. As always, I am. We are one heart, one breath, one light. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you again at 11:11 Pacific time tomorrow. Possibly, if you go to that Pamela Arland thing, I'll be there in the chat. I love you. Have a great day.